Hello, Boris Pravisham here, welcome back to the Nidd Whitelist server. I have probably been playing a bit too much. I may have gone a little bit past what everyone else was. We were intending to kind of play together as a group, but I seem to have mostly ruined that by doing everything myself. I'm showing you the one bit that I haven't touched. This is still the same as last time. You can see Spider-Man's not been back on to finish up that weld. Well, he has been back on, but he was welding and finishing up another ship. And he has actually successfully landed on the planet. But I don't know what he's doing down there yet, so I'll find that out and report back next episode or something. I have been very much enjoying myself, though. It's good to be back in, properly interested in the game. And part of the reason why I have been, I guess, a bit more interested and a bit more excited than usual and playing for so long is because I have a to-do list. It sounds silly, but I guess in the past I've had something, I guess you could term it as excited dread, where I've been really excited to do a project, to start building a project, and then realize that it's going to take roughly a month in order to get the groundwork done, in order to start doing the more interesting stuff. So it's good to, using a different technique where I can be, that list that you're seeing right there, that was twice as long before today, and I checked all those things off, so I'm actually starting smaller projects and getting them done for once. This is a different technique for me, and it seems to be working quite well. So we'll go down there afterwards, I think. No, we'll start down there. This is the new storage room. I've been calling them wings. Perhaps I should call that a wing. I'm calling it a wing because I have no idea what it really is, but they're kind of just... I'm intending to make this a bit more of a hodgepodge of little modules stuck together all over, not necessarily even a central station. They're all just sort of ad hoc around each other and connected up to make it look a little bit higgledy-piggledy, but I guess you get that look in actual space equipment now. If you look at the International Space Station, it looks like it's a mess. Obviously, it's a very well-planned and very expensive mess, but to the amateur viewer, if you look at the ISS, it looks very much cobbled together. So I'm not going for that same modern sort of astro-engineering look, but that same vein. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Storage room. And I've got 5 of these things down here. No, lights off. I've got 5 cargo containers, which I guess is too much. Well, actually, it will be too much. We'll never fill 5. We'll probably fill 2 at the most, but the other 3 are aspirational. They're there to motivate us to actually fill them up, because this is supposed to be a mining outpost. This segment I've designed with getting as many resources in here and then out and down to the planet. It's actually a quite nice view here. You get to see the moon, the Earth, a little bit of the asteroid, which is a weird color because of a lighting glitch. That's not the moon, that's the mean. MWN. Mir has renamed it. Once he is able to play Space Engineers, he will be colonizing the moon, and that will be his thing, apparently. That's what he has declared. And it will henceforth be called the mean. So, yeah, we get a nice view of the Earth-like planet and its mean from up here on our asteroid. The lights in here are too bright, but for some reason they're not showing up in the control panel. No matter what I do, I can't find them. I've gone through every single thing. I've shown them all on HUD. Those lights have disappeared. And only those lights, only that one group, because they were all grouped together. I turned them all the way up and just left them up until I had something a bit more to base my judgment on, because it was just an empty room at that point. And I came back just before and they're not there, so I'm hoping maybe a server restart will fix that. It's an odd bug. Down here is where I'm going to put a lot of the workings. Although one of my better capabilities when it comes to space engineers is being able to build fast. I can build things quite quickly. I can get like an image in my head straight away, but it's not always the best image, and I do end up with problems where, because I've built so quickly and not designed well enough, like that connector is what connects this module up with the little starting area up here, and it actually goes, I'll head outside now, but of course, you know, I built an entire module because I had a great idea, and, well, I thought it was a great idea anyway. So I just slapped everything down, and then came, you know, right at the end, realized I hadn't actually connected it up. So there's this sort of tumorous growth down here, which houses the conveyor tube. It's massive because I had to... it didn't look right the way it was before, so I just covered it all up and hoped no one would notice. And now I've pointed it out, of course. So this is what it looks from the outside. I've just got that there. It looks a lot better in the dark, actually. Just very basic. But I don't mind it. Another gun up here. I've turned off the idle movement because they were causing more lighting glitches. Every time they'd turn, they'd reset all the lights. Like all the general lighting. You can see that flicker every now and then. Well, it was like that every time they turned. It was like just this constant flicker every time they moved around. So I've had to turn the idle movement off. Plus it a little less noisy. We might get some meteors. They come from the sun, right? I have finished the little Tina here. Well, at least the first stage. This is the bit that I built in. I'm hoping for some meteors, so I don't want to look away. They've probably changed it, and they're now flying down there or something. I don't think we're going to see them. So this is just what I built in Creative, sort of slapped together, and then I've done this, and I'm going to... Nope, missed it. No, they don't come from the sun anymore. They're flying up that way. Okay. Yes, so I'm going to kind of tweak it as we go along. So just to recap, this is a ship that I'm intending to re-enter with. It's got a large cargo container in there, which you can fill up with the heaviest stuff possible. There was supposed to be a few connection points to be able to connect things and take them down with you, but I'm going to have to grind away some stuff. I didn't plan that together well. It's also supposed to be autopilotable down to the planet's surface, and I'm going to have to do more testing in Creative in order to try and get it to stop flipping upside down and things like that. So there's a whole bunch of batteries. As you can see, it's not at all kitted out for like oxygen or anything like that. That'll be the Mark II. Right now, this is just as simple as I could. And let's get out of here. So yeah, I'm hoping to be able to load that up. That's its sort of docking station there. Load that up and send it down to the planet. I believe Minty has made it back, I think, to the waypoint there. He's been driving around on a rover, last I heard. And Anubis is still on the other side of the planet over there. Like, that's not the surface, that's on the other side. He is actually going to make a little bit of a challenge out of it, because he landed on the wrong side. You know, a lesser man would just respawn on another planetary lander and give it another go. But he is going to challenge himself to make it back to the other side of the planet. So he's kind of constructing a bit of a mobile base and stuff like that. So you can go watch his stuff as he puts that all together, and he's going to try and make it back around. The problem that leaves me with, just in general for anyone on the planet, is that progress is so much slower down there. Especially when... Is that a light glinting? That's got to be like a... You probably can't see it. I don't know if my render settings will allow for that tiny little dot. I don't know, maybe it's like the skybox poking through, or just a lighting glitch, but that's about where there's light. I know there's lights around that point. So that'd be quite impressive if a light's showing up from the planet's surface. It can't, because the render distance is set to 10k. So I think that's a coincidence. So never mind that. I've completely lost my train of thought now. Ah, that's right. So progress is quite a lot slower down there. And that means that I can steam ahead, especially when I've been playing so much. And I've discovered the perils of the, what are they calling them? Wrong menu. The elite gear. I've discovered them and discovered how quick they are, and it's basically one click to place, one click to weld, which means that I built that whole thing pretty much in one sitting because it was so quick. So I guess you might need to consider another turn down of welding and grinding to make that stuff a little less overpowered. It is nice though, being able to do all that so quickly. But yeah, I'm kind of steaming ahead while everyone else, they're in their primitive rovers driving around down there, like basically just a line of blocks and 4 wheels and trying to do their best to survive, and I'm up here just building away, no problems at all. I have actually been using oxygen bottles and hydrogen bottles, or probably I'm not while I'm recording, plus it's bugged. You can see my my hydrogen's going down, but energy and oxygen isn't. No idea why. I'm not complaining, but every now and then that happens to me. Oh, energy just went down. I think I've got that out of its rhythm, because I just hit the recharge thing just as I walked, before I started recording, to see if that had reset it. But yeah, I have been playing properly. I've not just been dying and respawning in order to... So I'm going to stop here. These episodes will be a little bit, look at the stuff that I built off camera kind of thing, just because I've become a little bit of addicted to it. I've been playing it so much, kind of while doing other things at the same time, like do a little bit of this and then go off and do something else and come back. It'll be a little bit show and tell to start with, but I'm hoping to actually kind of build things through episodes and show that off, kind of like in an Uber's style. Like, here's the project, we're going to complete this episode, that kind of thing. So I'm going to stop here and come back, perhaps when there's something a little bit more to show off, but hopefully not too much more, because that means I've played too much. To end out the episode today, I'm going to do something a little bit silly, I guess. I'm going to see whether or not I can basically just drop a ball of armor down to the surface, and whether the contents inside will survive. Just a little silly experiment. I don't think this will be particularly useful for much, but and plus it'll mean, more craters, which means a larger world size, which means and debris and stuff like that. But yeah, I want to see. I just want to see what's possible. Whether I could drop a ball that size, and if I have a beacon in the middle with a reactor or battery, I'll put a reactor in case the battery runs out. Just see if someone down there can spot it, because I think beacons have a range of 50k, don't they? So I won't be able to see it from up here, but hopefully I can get it somewhere near the waypoint down there, and one of those will see, because later on today, the day that I'm recording this, I'll be doing like a collab with a group of them on here, so we should then be able to see whether they find it or not. So just a little fun experiment. By the next episode we should either there will be nothing and it will be an inconclusive experiment, or they'll find something and it'll be conclusive. So it's not the best experiment, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm done. Doesn't that look terrible? Hopefully someone will be able to spot it. I mean, all of the lights will probably get blown off, but maybe there'll just be one. I aimed it a little bit low by mistake. You'll see if I try and get it fairly central, it's above that point, the planet down there, but I'm hoping that the gravity will pull it in, because it won't go straight down there. Once the gravity starts pulling, it should pull up, and hopefully it'll land within 50k of that planet thing. Inside I just have that one thruster to give it that initial sort of shove off. Reactor, beacon, gyro just to keep it there stable. Hopefully this thing won't explode, although I don't think it's the most efficient way to do that, because that took forever to build. I thought this would be a funny little thing just to do, knock out in half an hour, but it's taken me an hour because of it. It was bigger than it probably needs to be, but hopefully we can sort of gauge how much armor padding it would need for something like this falling at max speed to survive. So let's let it off. I'll follow it down a little bit until we get to the gravity, just to, make sure it's going in the right direction. But it's going to take a little bit to get up to speed, so I'm probably going to time-lapse this. I'm not going to follow it much further though, because once it gets to the ground, it's all up to Minty. I just remembered how far away the planet is. That's far too long for me to be following it this entire way. So I'm going to call it here and see if Minty will find it by tonight, if it doesn't get destroyed. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully with this thing still alive.